nandito na yung mga kasama ko. So, hello, good afternoon again. May we request to keep listen to our reporting, and we are the group 2. Our topic is musical content on Timbre. Next slide po. So, next. Sorry. Musical content on Timbre. Objectives at the end of the lesson. We will be able to know and get the view of content under Timbre that TEPED does, and review and familiarize with the musical content pertaining to Timbre. This will be the topics that should be uh, thought for the students in for grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, and grade 6. So, next slide, please. So, what is timbre? It refers actually to the sound produced by a particular voice or instrument, also known as tone and color. And it also means that it will be helpful to distinguish between pitch, intensity, and duration. So it gives certain identity to a musical instrument or from a voice of a person or a singer artist. So just to review again, pitch. It describe how high or low sounds are the music is. Like for example, I have here instruments. So I have ukulele and guitar. Let's distinguish what was the instrument that is in a high sound or low sound. So first is the ukulele. Naririnig niyo po ba?
Yes po. Opo.
Alright. So that is the sound of ukulele. So tandaan nyo. And then yung sa guitar naman, uh, so Miss, sino ba? Let me see. Si Ate Orhel na lang. Ate Orhel? Ate, can you differentiate kung narinig mo po yung sound kanina na plinay ko, first is ukulele and guitar, can you tell me which instrument is in the high sound? Which higher sound?
The higher sound is the guitar and the ukulele is smooth sounds.
Right, that's correct. Thank you
Thank
po.
you.
And then, other for pitch is the voice, which is the high pitch or low pitch. Like for example, in singing, we have singers that sings in a high pitch and low pitch, which is the mataas and mababa. So next one is intensity. So intensity, ito naman is yung loudness of sound or voice, sound of voice or the instruments. So again, guitar and ukulele. So again, since ukulele has the low sound, so it also has a low intensity, while the guitar since it has a high sound, then it much more it has much more intense. So also, other example is the voice of a person. Sige, yung mga, ano, um, hindi lang teacher, like, kahit yung iba sa atin, di ba? Minsan, yung iba sa atin, malumana yung boses. Yung iba naman, normal lang na nagsasalita, pero akala mo, laging galit. So, yung matitining yung boses, yun, mga example yun ng intensity, yung mataas siya, hindi siya pitch, intensity, which is a, yun, malumanay, softness or loudness of a voice. So, last is the duration, which is the long time or haba or oras nung sound na napoproduce. Like, for example, again, for the guitar, kung mapapansin nyo po, or maririnig, pagka plinay ko yung guitar, hindi ko na siya, isang beses ko lang siya in-strum, pero yung sound niya, di ba, may duration siya. So, ayun yung tinatawag natin na duration. Yung kahit isang beses ko lang siya i-strum, tuloy-tuloy po yung naririnig natin na sound. Like, ganon. And also, yung sa singing. So, there are a lot of singers. So, karaniwan talaga, mapapansin natin to sa mga singers yung duration ng kanta. Kapag hindi lang yung mismong kanta, kundi yung kada word. Sometimes, mapapansin natin may mga kinakanta sila na, kunyari yung sa isang word, i-stop sila doon, pero ang haba nung duration. So, ganun po siya. So, next is music may be divided into two major categories, which is the vocal music and the instrument. So, music can be played in different ways, such as the following. So, first is the solo. So, solo means alone in Italian. Musical composition for a single without sorry for the typo. It should be a accompaniment, not accomplishment. So also featured eminently throughout, even with the accompaniment. So what is accompaniment? So it is a musical part which provides rhythmics or harmonic support for the melody. So best example here is the piano. So, dun sa piano, di ba, makikita nyo naman yun, kahit hindi tayo maalam sa music, nakakakita tayo ng mga music notes. Kagaya dito sa background ng PowerPoint natin, nakikita nyo po ba yan? Hello?
Oo, be.
Ayun. Tapos, ganyan siya. So, mostly, sa piano talaga siya. So, nababase yan ng mga pianist and ayan yung madalas nagiging accompaniment ng solo. Diyan siya nagmumula sa piano. So, next po. So, yan. Ito, Mutya ng Pasig by Nicanor Abelardo, written for voice and piano. So, it was, ito yung may, ayan, so yung mga music notes dyan, hindi lang siya for voice. Kapag plinay mo yan, it also for piano. So, nababasa ng mga pianist yan. If medyo familiar kayo with chords, right? So, yung pag may mga kilala kayong instrumentalist, naririnig nyo sa kanila, ano ba chords ng ganito? Sige, tugtog mo nga gantong chords, tas kakantahin ko. So, here, that is the accompaniment. So, instead of chords, ang pinaka-chords nila is the notes, which is, dalawa na siya, for piano na and for voice. Letter B, duet. So, from the word itself, duet, duo. So, dalawa. Written for two parts or two prominent parts. So, for this, for a while, um, alam niyo yung mga singers. There are a lot of singers that sometimes nagpo-partner, dalawa sila kumakanta ng sabay. That's what you call duet. And then letter C, trio, written for three parts. So meron tayong mga groups na may tatlong members, and sometimes it can be also a collaboration, or they just form actually, literal na naka-form sila ng group into three. So, ganun lang naman yung pinagkaiba nun, but has the same process, kumakanta, may tumutugtog. And then the last one is ensemble, written for a relatively large group of performances. So, andito na yung choir, orchestra, and many or bands. So, next slide po. Ayan. So, choir, orchestra, and band. Sino ba? Molon? Hello? Wala siya. Nandito siya sa meet. Si Echalas na lang. Echalas, please.
Pakiulit, please.
And then, nagtatawag pa lang ako actually. So, eto, I am calling you because I want you to differentiate what is the difference between choir and orchestra. Opinion lang, ano yung nakikita mong pagkakaiba nilang dalawa?
Yung choir kasi, yung choir, ginagamitan siya ng
Wait lang,
boses,
hindi
while the
maingay ata yung
orchestra
background.
is, ginagamitan siya ng instrument.
Again, pakiulit, medyo maingay yung background mo.
Klaro na ba?
Oo.
For me, yung difference nila is yung choir is ginagamitan siya ng boses. Like, boses talaga yung ginagamit nila. While the orchestra is instrument yung focus nila. Like, yung may mga violin, may mga nagtuturo sa harapan, ganun.
Oh, thank you. So, that is correct. So, choir also uses instruments. So it can be instruments like literal instruments, or the instrumental, which is yung mga nada-download natin sa YouTube pag low budget, charot. Ganon. Tapos, somehow it can also be a piano or guitar. While in the orchestra, medyo dito yung mga gamit nilang instrument, mas naka-focus sila sa instrument. Then usually yung kumakanta minsan isa lang, kasi nga orchestra, makikita natin dyan yung iba-ibang string instruments, kagaya ng mga violin na sinabi ni Carla, yung cello, and so on and so forth. So, i-discuss yan mamaya nung next report, ng mga susunod na reporter. And then, the band, which is basically, ito ay pausbong, patuloy na nagkakaroon ng band. May mga sumisikat, may mga, what do you call this? Ano nga tawag din? Basta yun. Mga underrated yon. So, even in school, sometimes we form a band pag may mga battle of the bands. Pagka may mga performance, tas tayo nakakanta na may tutugtog, somehow it can be considered as a band. So, usually, it is a small group. Sometimes it consists of 4 4 to 5 members or 6, siguro madami na yung 6 or bihira kasi yung usually sa band kasi may lead vocalist, may lead guitarist, may pianist, may drummer. So usually ang pinakaano ng band is 5 lang talaga kasi or tama 5 or 4 kasi yung mostly yung lead vocalist they can also some most of them can also play instruments so like a multitasking. So next po, ayan, so next for the content on Timbre is the vocal range classifications like um, ito pinaka-importante lalo sa mga bata. Ito yung pinaka dapat na maalam nila or matutunan ano ba yung iba't ibang klase ng vocal range, yung classification. So, the first one is the soprano. It is the highest pitch for women. And then the alto, also called contralto, second highest part. But usually, when we form a choir, somehow yung alto, minsan hindi lang siya second highest part. Sometimes nagiging, pwede siya maging flat, pwedeng maging low, just to balance the group that the piece that they are performing. So like a high pitch example here is yung mga singers. Sino ba yung mga singers sa tingin nyo na may sobrang na mataas yung boses?
Danyo po.
Sige po.
Si Pin, Sarah.
Sarah.
Sarah Geronimo.
Okay. So, Danyo. Sino yung kaninang tinawag ko? Echalas. Danyo, Echalas, si Ate Urhel. So, yung mga nakikinig po, malalaman ko yan, tatawagin ko kayo or and I will be giving you some piece of token for listening and answering and participating here on our report. So, okay, so all right. Thank you, Danyo. Sarah Geronimo. Sino pa po?
Kabalsin po.
Sige po, Kabalsin. Sino po pangalan?
Si Regine Velasquez.
Alright. So, yun. Tama yun. Upon researching on YouTube and also listening to their tone of voice, we can able to classify what was their vocal range. So, Regine Velasquez, the songbird, Sarah G, the pop star, right? So, most of their songs is matataas. Bakit? Kasi yung voice classification nila, yung vocal range nila is mataas. So, bakit ka naman kakanta ng mababa? Ganito kasi yan. When you are, if you can sing a high pitch, most of the singers that can sing in high pitch, sometimes nagkakaroon sila ng struggle sa pag-hit ng lower note. So, mapapansin niyo yan, like, yung mga kanta nila is matataas sila. Meron siyang lower note, pero wala yung, as in, yung tuloy-tuloy lang, talagang may birit. Kasi, ayun yung forte nila. So, next is the alto. Yun yung called like contralto, the second highest part, yung sinasabi ko kanina. Kumbaga sa, ano to? Sa, di ba si Sarah G? Anong kanta ni Sarah G?
Ikot-ikot lang.
Ano yun, di ba? Yung tumatakbo. Di ba?
Kilometro.
Oo. So, highest pitch siya. And then, if gagawin natin siya sa alto, pwede siyang, di ba, highest pitch. Tumatakbo. So, walang hanggan. Tapos, pataas siya. Pagka alto naman, tumatakbo. Pwede siyang maging ganon. Depende pa yon kung paano siya ipe-perform. Kapag group siya and yung mga group na magkakasama is maalam talaga sa music, sometimes nagha-harmonize pa siya. So, letter C is the tenor, highest type of voice in adult male. So, for kagaya lang din siya ng soprano, nagkakaiba lang sila sa term. So, pagka woman, high pitch, that's what you call soprano. Pagka highest type ng lalaki, yung voice nila is mataas, tenor po ang tawag. So, sa dagdag ko lang sa alto, it can be a boy or girl. Meron din mga lalaki na kaya maging, na ang vocal range nila ay soprano. So, if alam niyo yung pentatonics, sino po nakakaalam sa pentatonics? A cappella group siya. So, kung kilala niyo yung mga members doon, sila Mitch, they are actually gay, di ba? So, ang boses pa rin nila is, ang key pa rin is lalaki. Pero when they sing, when they started singing, yung pitch, yung vocal range nila is soprano. Mako-consider mo as soprano sa taas ng mga boses nila. And then, bass, lowest sound. Ito yung mga mabababa. Usually, kapag choir, sila yung nagiging parang balance. Kumbaga sila yung parang buo, siya yung may buong sound sa mga kumakanta. We also have a bass na instrument, bass instrument. So, yon. So, pagka pinagsama-sama mo yan, nagha-harmonize sila. May mataas, may gitna, may mataas na lalaki, may bass. Parang nagbabalance siya. So, other classification is the baritone, mezzo-soprano, bass baritone, and lyric soprano. Can you tell me, since may soprano tayo, highest siya, sino may idea dito? What is the mezzo-soprano? Asan na si ano? Sambere. Ano lang, wala naman tamang sagot. Inaano ko lang if kung ano yung insight nyo dito, kung parehas lang ba sila or yung isa ba, ito medyo mataas siya pero pag pinagsama mo, mababa ba to para dun sa mezzo-soprano or sa soprano lang. Ganon.
Second highest female, mas mataas, ay, ano yung second highest female voice type? Yun po.
Yeah, mezzo-soprano. Yes, yon. So, somehow, it is somehow slightly higher than the soprano. Kaya, if makikita natin sa mga singer, maririnig natin parang, pare-parehas lang naman sila, lalo kapag group. Ay, wow, ang galing, mas mataas si sa ganto ganyan, ang taas ng boses, ang galing naman niya. Mapapansin natin na parang iisa lang yung hinihit nila. But actually, sometimes, meron diyang soprano lang. Not lang. Meron diyang soprano and may tumataas pa sa kanila. Hindi naman yung sobrang taas, pero yung medyo mataas pa. Since soprano is highest, mezzo-soprano is slightly higher than the soprano. Same as the baritone. Yung baritone naman, usually, para siyang alto. Tenor and bass, in between siya ng tenor and bass, singer with deep and rich voice. So, kumbaga, kunyari, may lalaking na tenor, may isang bass, meron na parang, kaya niya yung in between, sakto lang. Parang sa example ko kanina, so hindi ko kasi maano yan since for male part yan. So, ganun lang siya. And same as the lyric soprano. So, ganun lang yung mga kaibahan nila. So, again, that is the introduction. Introduction pa lang yan and two subtopics, which is the vocal range classifications and mga groups. So I hope you understand what was I discussed about this. So for our next reporter po. Thank you pala. Thank you, guys. Ayan, next reporter is Apostol.
So ayun guys, yung part ko identifying ensemble instruments. Pa-next po. Thank you. So umpisahan natin yan sa drum and lyre band. Yan. A type of Filipino marching band that was derived from drum and bugle corps. So siya, naging alternative siya sa dito sa atin. Yung sa tawag dito, yung mga, alam niyo mga brass band, yung mga ganun, yung may mga, sila, ibang instrument. So sa atin, dahil sa resources, ganun. Kaya naging drum and lyre na lang din. So, usually made up around 30 to 40 members. And primarily made up of two sections, the lyre section and the drum section. So, guys, tanong lang, may mga naging member na ba dito ng drum and lyre? Ganun.
Yes, be.
Ayan, sa experience mo doon, sa day mo saan section ka napunta? Sa lyre section or sa drum section, ganyan?
Sa lyre section, be.
Ayun. So, meron naman palang may familiar dito. And then, next po, proceed na tayo sa instruments. Ayan. Yung unang instrument natin is lyre. A lyre also called as bell lyre. A set of tuned steel bars are hit by either metal or wooden mallets. So, ayun. Bell lyre din yung isang term sa kanya or bell lyra. Ganyan. Palitan lang natin yung letter A ng letter E. Ganyan. And it is, guys, also classified as an idiophone within the percussion family of musical instruments. The modern instrument has a range of 2 octaves. And when played, the lyre is held in a vertical position with the bars facing the marching musician. Ayan. And then yung next natin is yung snare drum. Composed of a cylinder-shaped shell with two heads. So, yung two heads na yun is the bottom part and the upper part. Yung bottom part is outfitted with guts wires or strings called snares. And the upper part is also called the butter head, and it is usually struck with wooden sticks. And snare drum is often used to keep the beat in a piece. So, yung naririnig nyo kung nakarinig na kayo ng drum and lyre, usually yan diba, sa mga fiesta or sa mga school competition, ganyan. Sila yung yung nagkikip ng beat dun sa kung ano man yung piece nila. And some examples of these are snare drums being used in an orchestra, marching band, or the military. So, ayun. The snare drum is also an integral piece of the drum kit. And lastly, the snare drum can sometimes be used as a solo instrument. And yun sa last bullet natin about sa snare drum, and sabi dyan, it is usually made out of wood or metal. Ganyan. And yung size niya ng snare drum, siya, cylindrical shell of wood or plywood or pwede nga ring metal, and 5 to 12 inches high and 14 to 16 inches in diameter. And ayun lang. I hope familiar naman kayo dyan. Siguro nung sa mga elementary, di ba? Mas common yung drum and lyre, and mas nagiging malaking community sila pagdating ng high school. Ganyan. And next po. And thank you. And next natin is the tenor drum. may similarity sila ng sa physical ano ah na itsura ng snare drum. Ang ano lang siya is mas deep lang siya, kumbaga mas mataas lang siya. Ayan, a deep cylindrical drum and struck with felt-headed or side drumsticks. So ayun, a tenor drum, it is usually about nasa 18 inches in diameter and 14 inches in height. And it is normally beaten nga with two soft-headed sticks. The heads are tensioned by rope placings or metal rods. So, tingnan nyo dun sa image niya. May kita nyo dun na meron nga siyang rope placings or yung mga metal rods para mag-keep siya yung sound niya. Ganyan. Hindi maging tawag dito. Kumbaga, yung function niya is mas mag-function talaga ganyan. And then next natin is the bass drum. Ayan. It it is consisting of shell with two heads, and this drum is bigger, around 36 inches in diameter and 16 inches deep. So, yung bass drum is the largest of all drums. And commonly gets referred to as the kick drum or the kick. Kasi pero in drum and lyre, bass drum lang talaga yung tawag sa kanya. Kaya lang siyang nasabi na kick drum or the kick kasi yung nakikita nyo sa mga band, yung mga tumutugtog like mga e-heads, ganyan. Sila yung ginagamitan. Di ko sure if pedal ba yung tawag doon, yung inaano ng paa para tumunog siya, ganyan. Pero dahil sa drum and lyre naman, isa-isa na lang siyang inaano, yung binibit-bit. May mga naka-assign doon na player ng band nila. And the bass drum is played using a foot pedal, yun nga, kung if kick yung sa ano niya. And then next is the cymbals. Cymbals are broad circular plates with a small bump or boss in the middle. And it is usually made of tin and copper alloy. So ayan, yung tawag dito, yung wala. Ayan, yung the pair of yung cymbals, ginagamit siya sa mga musical climaxes. Ayun yung term. Yung sa musical climaxes or yung dati nung romantic period, nagkaroon siya ng importanteng role in the orchestra kasi it is powerful sound and can rise above the entire orchestra. Ganyan. So ayun, and thank you guys. Ayun yung part ko yun sa drum and lyre.
Okay po. Narinig po ba ako? Hello?
Yes po!
Okay,
Yes, bebe.
thank you. Okay, good day everyone. I'm Nikki El Ribato. Today, I'll discuss about Randola, native bamboo ensemble and string section. Okay, let's start with the Randola. Originating from Spain, it is an ensemble performing group that was later customized and transformed to fit Filipino culture, also called the Filipino String Band. This group play a wide range of repertoire from folk, modern, and even foreign classical music. So the randola is an ensemble of string instruments play with the plectrum or flute and generally known as a plectrum instrument. It originates in medieval Spain. So the word randola is from the Spanish ronda meaning serenade. So, ang randolia ay isang pangkat ng mga instrumentong may kwerdas. Ito ay kinabibilangan ng mga instrumentong may tono at maaaring gamitin na pansalo sa pag-awit at maaari rin namang tumugtog bilang isang pangkat. Karaniwang ginagamit ang randolia sa mga pagtitipong Pilipiniana at mga palatuntunan sa paaralan. at sa pistang bayan. 5 ang pangunahing instrumentong bumubuo ng rondalya, ang bandurria, octavina, lad, at bajo de arco. Ang instrumentong ito ay may tiyak na tono at may kanya-kanyang timbre, kaya't mayroong bahagi sa awit o komposisyon ng musika na bagay sa kani-kanilang tunog. Ang rondalya ay mayahambing sa pag-awit ng may kapatang tinig. Okay, instrument of rondalya. First is guitar. Flack, either with or without flicker. The guitar has 6 strings, a single, often round, sound hole, is slightly curved back inside in the figure of which it is one of the most widely used in popular musical instruments. So, ang gitara ang nagbibigay ng accordi bilang pansilaw sa mga melodiyang nanggagaling sa mga instrumento ng rondalya. So sa madaling salita ay isang instrumentong pangmusika na may mga kwerdas, tinutugtog ito sa pamamagitan ng mga daliri o kung minsan ay may gamit na pick. Ang tunog ay nanggagaling sa paggalaw ng mga kwerdas. So ang gitara isang kasangkapang nagbibigay saya sa buhay ng bawat isa sa pamamagitan ng pagtugtog ng isang kanta. Next is bandurria. It is a small stringed instrument derived from the guitar. It has 6 courses in strength and pairs of metal string into 4. Usually it plays the top treble part. It is played by using plectrum, a small pick or piece of used to pluck a string instrument, usually made of plastic, metal, ivory, or a shell. So, ang bandurria ay may maraming kwerdas. Meron itong 3 kwerdas sa bawat tuno. Ito ay tinutugtog sa pamamagitan ng pick na pinagpapabalik-balik ng mabilis sa isang tono na magkakalapit na kwerdas. Ito ay maaaring ihambing sa soprano. Karaniwang tinutugtog nito ang pangunahing himig o melodiya. Next is double bass, also called contrabass. It is the largest of the bow string instrument and has the lowest pitch. It is related to the violin, viola, and cello. It can be played either by plucking or with the bow. So, ang bajo de arco ang pinakamalaking instrumento ng rondalya. Kasintas ito ng tao kaya't ang tumutugtog nito ay nakatayo, 4 lamang ang kwerdas ng bajo de arco at ang mga ito ay tinutugtog sa pamamagitan ng pagkalabit ng mga daliri. Matataba ang kwerdas nito kaya't ang timbre niya ay mababa. Next is lad. Similar to the bandurria, this black instrument is also tuned in fourth, but it pitch 1 octave lower. It's relatively bigger than the bandurria. So ang hugis ng lad ay may maraming kwerdas at tinutugtog tulad sa bandurria at octavina. Mababa ang tunog ng lad at ito ang sumusuporta sa melodiya at ito ang alto ng rondalya. Next is octavina. It has shape almost exactly like the guitar but has a set of 14 strings. The flat instruments share the same toning as the lad. So, ang octavina ay mas malaki kaysa sa bandurria at ang hugis ay tulad ng isang gitarang maliit, tulad ng sa pamamagitan ng pick. Ito ang thinner ng grupo sapagkat mataginting ang timbre nito. Ayun po. So, naintindihan po ba yung randola? Hello po. Naintindihan po ba yung about sa Randola?
Oo, be.
Okay. Okay. And now let's proceed to the native bamboo ensemble. Next slides po. Okay, so native bamboo ensemble, Angkat Kawayan. It is a unique Filipino performing group or ensemble that use non-traditional bamboo instruments, sourced locally, also known as the singing bamboo of the Philippines. This group is composed of musically talented elementary student from Manila and Quezon City. It was founded on September 6, 1966. So, instrument of the native bamboo ensemble, first is bumbong. Musikong bumbong are Filipino marching band that use woodwind instruments that are made of bamboo. The shape and the size are similar to brass band and instruments but have different sound. So the importance of musikong bumbong. More than a century ago, a bamboo band in Malabon played an important role in the 1896 revolution. At a time when the use of bolo was banned, Malabon musikong bumbong helped the katipunan by holding and sneaking away their weapons. So, ang katangian ng bongbong ay nahati sa dalawa, mababa at mataas. Next is talonggating. Talonggating, bamboo marimba, kalagong, one instrument that produces a hollow gong-like sound, played by tapping the top holes of the bamboos by two flat and flexible surface taps. It serves as brass of the group. So, sa madaling salita, ang talunggating, ito ay pantuno ng iskalang musikal kagaya ng xylophone. Next is tipangklong. So, yung tipangklong po is piano made from bamboo. So, yun po siya. Tapos next is tulali. Tulali is a bamboo float. It is vertical float with 6 fingers holes on top in one hole under the use in summer. Tulali usually used during Holy Weeks, particularly Good Friday. So, tulali, ito ay yari sa baga, isang uri ng pinakamaliit na kawayan. Next po is kalatok. Kalatok is a percussion instrument with pieces of bamboo with varying tones strung together. The instrument name was derived from the first two syllables or the conductor surname kala in the tok sound that produced when struck by a rubber mallet. So, kalatok, ito ay ginagamit ng rubber mallet. Ito ay instrumentong percussion. And last naman sa native bamboo ensemble is angklong. Angklong is an Indonesian musical instrument consisting of 2 or 4 bamboo tube suspended in bamboo frame bound with the rattan cord. So, ang angklong, ito ay gawa sa kawayan. Ito ay nakabase sa iskalang diatonic. Yun po yung native bamboo ensemble. Naintindihan po ba?
Yes, be.
Okay. Okay po. So, next slide na po. Next slide po. Okay. Next is string section. The instrument of this section produces sound by either bowing or plucking tight string attached to hollow resonating box that amplifies the sound. First is violin, an string instrument that is commonly bowed but may also be plucked. It has a hollow resonating body made of wood with an attached neck and pigback. Its fingerboard, just like all the other instruments in this section, does not have frets. It has four strings and is the highest pitch member of this section. It can be played either a solo or ensemble instrument. So violin are well suited to playing melody, making them one of the most important instruments in the orchestra. Firstly, they are highest string instruments, so their bright tone rises above the rest of the string section. Secondly, they are fluid above, unlike woodwind or brass instruments, which rely on air. Next is cello, also called violoncello. It is the second lowest pitch of the bow string instrument and possesses a deep rich tone in its low register due to its size. The cello is played between one leg. It has lower range than the viola. So the cello is versatile instrument that can give practitioners a unique perspective on the art of music. So the cello is considered to be one of the most beautiful sounding instruments with its warm, living tones and rich sounds. Although the cello is primarily associated with orchestral and chamber music, over the years it made the transition to more modern musical genre, including jazz, rock, and pop. Next is viola. Slightly larger than the violin, it is the second highest pitch member of the violin family. Music for the viola is usually noted in the alto clef, and its fourth string are toned a fifth below that of the violin. Viola is a it has proven time and again the group of musical are beautifully with this essential instrument. It creates harmony when being played along with the other string instruments. While the violin plays the melody, viola represents the alto part. And last, double bass, also called contrabass. It is the largest of the bow string instruments and has the lowest pitch and range. It can be played either by plucking or with a bow. The double bass is the biggest string instrument in the orchestra. It emits low and mute tones, sometimes rhythmic, sometimes long, but almost always incredibly powerful. So the double bass part of forms a stable foundation over which the rest of the orchestra notes can resound. Yun lang po. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you learned something from me. Again, thank you. Now, I will call Miss Juanita to present our report. Thank you.
So, good afternoon, classmates. I am John Maynagad, and today I will tackle about wood section. So, the instrument of this section were initially constructed out of wood, but some of them are made out of metal. So, ngayon, mostly na mga instrument dito sa wood section ay gawa na siya sa metal. So, the first one is float. So, the float is a long, slender, cylindrical shaped instrument wherein the player blows through a side hole. So, marami naman nata sa atin alam at kilala na kung ano yung float at nakita na kung ano siya, paano. So, mostly, hinahawakan siya horizontally. Its timbre is usually gentle, light, and airy, but can stand out clearly when played in a higher register. So, yun nga, mostly nga sa atin nakikita ng float sa mga sa mga tawag doon sa mga banda. Next is clarinet. So, clarinet sound is produced by blowing into a reed a small piece of cane which vibrates. So, usually ito silang apat is magkakamukha, halos magkakamukha sila yung shape nila, magkakaiba lang sila ng design. So, clarinet slightly conical in shape. It is usually made of ebony. its timbre is rich and flexible, close to a sound of a human voice. So, sabi nga dito, yung clarinet is, lapit na siya sa sound ng isang tao. Next, oboe. The oboe uses a red, but in this case, it has a double red. Blowing air into an oboe is relatively harder since a player has to force air between two reds which are lashed together. So, kailangan talaga dito sa oboe, pag ginamit tong instrument na to is kailangan may puwersa talaga sa pag-ihip para magkaroon siya ng para yung two reds niya mag-lash sila. The oboe has a crisp and focused sound. The oboe usually gives the standard tuning pitch A or LA to the entire orchestra. So, yun nga po, yung oboe is may crisp and focused sound siya. Next po. Ay, bason pa pala. Sorry po, bason. Pabalik na lang po. May isa pa po pala. So, next is a bason. Bason is another double red instrument. The bason is a low-range woodwind bigger and longer than the other woodwind instrument. So, mostly, ang bason is mas malaki siya kaysa sa itong naunang tatlo na instrument, pero same lang sila, yun nga yung sinasabi ko is same lang sila halos ng pagkakahaba, pero iba-iba lang sila ng design. It's bore folded in the middle to reduce its lengthy exterior dimension. So, yun po, next po. So, brass section. So, brass instrument tend to be the loudest of the wind instruments. So, dito sa brass section, mostly siya yung, sa lahat ng section, siya yung kumbaga mas maingay or mas malakas yung sound. To produce a sound, the player blows into a small metal mouthpiece which makes the lips vibrate. This sets up vibration inside the brass tube. So dito, kailangan yung gagamit nito na instrument is kailangan mag-blow siya doon sa pinakamaliit na mouthpiece para mag-produce ng vibration. The first one is trumpet. So, yun nga, alam ko naman marami na rin sa atin is alam kung ano ang itsura ng trumpet. So, trumpet, it is instrument with the highest range in this section. So, dito sa brass section, ang trumpet ang pinakamataas yung range niya. It has a bright and powerful tone. So, it is usually used in martial or military teams. So, ang trumpet mostly ginagamit siya pag may mga martial, yung mga sundalo is nagmamarcha. Yun. Pitches are controlled by a valve that either connects or connects main tubes, which gives its distinct shape. Next, French horn. French horn is lower or mellower than the trumpets. Kumbaga, kung mas mataas ang range ng trumpet, sumusunod si French horn. Its tube is coiled into a somewhat circular fashion which gives its distinct shape. So next, trombone. Trombone. Instead of using a valve like the trumpet and the French horn, the trombone uses a sliding mechanism to produce pitches. So dito sa trombone, ginagamitan siya ng parang ini-slide mo may sliding mechanism siya para mag-produce siya ng pitch. The trombone has a lower range than the trumpet. So, kumbaga ang trumpet is yung pinakamataas, then next ang French horn. So, pinakamababa na ang trombone. Next, tuba. Having a lower register, this instrument usually is the foundation for the brass section. So, kumbaga sa lahat sa brass section, mas kinakailangan ang foundation ng lahat is yung tuba. It is less flexible than the other brass instrument. So, medyo hindi siya flexible at kaysa sa iba na na instrument dito sa brass section. Next po. Next po. Next is the percussion section. Percussion instruments produce sound by striking or hitting them with wooden or metal mallets or sticks. Some percussion instruments have a definite such as the timpani, xylophone, tubular bells, and marimba, while others have indefinite pitches like gongs and drums. So, dito sa percussion section, ginagamitan siya ng stick or metal mallets. Kumbaga, hinihit mo siya para mag-produce siya ng sound. So the first one is timpani or kettle drums. Tabak po. Tabak po. So, timpani or kettle drums. These are large drums that are capable of being tuned into exact low pitches or sounds. So, these are usually played in groups of 2 or 3. So, dito sa timpani or kettle drums, mostly piniplay siya ng by group or by 2 or 3 na tao. So, specialized drumstick called timpani sticks or timpani mallets are used in hitting the drum head to produce sound. So, ang tawag dun sa stick or sa drumstick na ginagamit dito sa timpani or kettle drums is timpani stick or timpani mallets. Next, glockenspiel. Related to lyre, this instrument has a small steel bars that when struck, produce a brilliant penetrating sound. So dito sa glockenspiel, kamukha siya ng lyre pero yung shape niya lang is parang pa-curve siya. Kasi yung lyre parang straight siya. So dito sa glockenspiel, medyo may parang kurba siya. Next is celesta. Not played with sticks or mallets, the celesta has a keyboard and is played similarly like a piano, though it is smaller in size. So, dito sa celesta, para siyang piano pero maliit lang siya na version ng ng piano. So, it produce a delicate metallic sound. So, ang pinoproduce niya dito is metallic sound dito sa celesta. Next, marimba. Marimba is usually mounted on stands. A marimba is played like xylophone in that it is struck with mallets. So, ang marimba para din siyang xylophone, ginagamitan mo rin siya ng mallets para siya tumunog pag nag-struck ka. It is originally an African instrument. So, marimba is originated from Africa. It has resonator under each of its bars. So, letter E, triangle. Next po. Triangle. It is a small handheld triangle instrument made of metal that gives a bright, sparkling sound when struck. So dito sa triangle, as in kamukha talaga siya ng triangle na may pang-hit lang din siya para tumunog na magpuproduce siya ng bright, sparkling sound pag in-struck mo siya. So literal talaga na triangle yung shape niya. Next is snare drum. So, kanina is pinakita na ni Apostol kung ano ang snare drum. Ulitin ko lang po. It is composed of a cylinder-shaped shell with 2 heads usually made of wood or metal. This shell has 2 heads. The bottom part outlifted with gut wires or strings called snares that run parallel to one another. copperhead, also called the butterhead, is usually struck with wooden sticks. Next is the tenor drum. A deep cylindrical drum, it is struck with felt-headed or side drumstick. So, ang tenor drum is a deep cylindrical drum. So, medyo maano siya. Cylindrical in shape ang tenor drum. So, ang tenor drum is tatluhan siya. Nakikita nyo yun sa banda. Yung tatlo siya, yung isa lang yung nagdadala pero tatlo yung drum. So, yun yung tinatawag na tenor drum. Next is bass drum, also consisting of cylindrical shell with two heads. This drum is bigger, around 36 inches in diameter and 16 inches deep. So, ang bass drum nakikita natin po sa banda, yung malaki, siya yung pinakamalaki sa lahat ng mga drum na nandoon. So, ano siya, 36 inches in diameter, siya yung pinakamalaki sa lahat ng ng mga drums. The last one is cymbals. Usually held by hand in pairs, this instrument provide loud, occasional accents while marching. So, ang cymbals, ginagamitan siya parang napukpok mo gamit yung dalawang paa mo para dalawang kamay mo para mag-produce siya ng sounds. These are broad circular plates with a small bump or bows in the middle. Cymbals are usually made of tin and copper alloy. So, mostly, made siya ng tin and copper alloy. So, yun lang po. That could be all. Thank you po for listening.